Okay, guys, welcome. In this class, we will learn how to create an object and work on it. What we have now is pretty much an empty scene. We only have an OpenGL system for the viewport. Okay, there's nothing going on. The properties window or view is empty. So before we do anything, let's create something. Let's go to create menu and create a Taros. Okay. So the properties here is still part of the creation. If we want to make changes like scaling, positioning of the object, we can do that, movement and all that. But that is still by creation because we haven't done anything to the Taros object we just created. Okay, so that is the first thing we have created under the object level. Cool, right? We can go into the material palette and give it a basic material for now. Okay. Cool. Get back to the object level. So pretty much our scene is set for modeling. We can start modeling right now. If we come here to the build menu, we can pick just modeling. And the interface is stripped down to Alexa, chef, and tabs, right? So it's kind of like not too much going on, which is good. If you get more comfortable, you probably will work in an Alexa stripped interface like this. Okay. But for now, I want us to go back. I just wanted to show you that you have that options. Based on what you are doing, you can pick that setup, animate, and other stuff. Okay. So let's go back to the default. Here, you'll be interested in the poly modeling tools. So let's pick that one, poly modeling. We still have the Taros. Okay. Maybe our gizmo is smaller for us. So let's check the preferences. How do you go to the preferences up here? Preference and then general interface. So you have the preference window. You can drop it down and go to the handles because that's the one we want to change. If we want to change stuff on viewports, is here. So that is for you to go through and see what you can change to make your stuff comfortable for you. Let's check the handles. Okay, so we can see it's okay, but we can make it bigger. So that is where we come here and boost it up, accept it, and we see we have a bigger gizmo for controls. But it looked too big for me. Let's go back and get a reasonable gizmo size. Okay, let's do it again. So drop it, handles, and let's make it around like 270. It's okay. So let's create another object. Let's create a sphere next to the Taros. And let's give it a material. We only have one material, but it would be nice to have a distinguish between both of them, right? For now, we can see there's a distinguish because we still have the default Houdini material on it. Okay, click outside, we can see it. So let's go back to the material palette. We only have one and we are interested in what? We are interested in giving it a unique material. And since we have one, we can right click on this material. So that gives us a chance to look at this menu. It's not too much going on, but we have an action here that we can change type and other stuff not necessary to us right now. There's a delete operation here. What we are interested in is a duplicate. So we have a copy of the original one we have. But even this original one was dropped here from here. So you can go through and check the materials, okay? So if we come out here and we use the arrow to open the scene, we see that under the materials, we have the basic color material, and then we have the copy one we just did. So if we click on the basic one, we see it's basic color. If we click this one, we see it's the copy. So basic and one with it, a copy. Let's name it purple. Enter. So it will reflect everywhere. Here is purple, and now here is purple. So let's do that. Let's put it on it. Cool. Let's close this scene view. So by the way, the scene view, if you have images, it will be under here. That will be composition, right? That will be comp. And then materials will be here. Objects like we created are here. They are under the OBJ. We have the sphere. We have the tiles. You see? So that's how it's break down. The outs are the renders. So if we come to the render, we can pick the renders we have. Okay? So we have Arnold, render main, blah, blah, blah. Okay? So that is how the scene is breakdown. So let's close it. Cool. Get back to the object level. At this point, we can test parenting. How we can group objects to move together, right? So if I move the tiles, it's moving by itself. If I move the sphere, it's moving by itself. The tiles is on top in our object level. So we can make that the parent. It don't matter though. So let's grab the child, the sphere, and connect it to the parent, the mother. All right. So we have child-parent relation going on. So if we move the tiles, what happened? The sphere is going with it, but the sphere is independent. So if we move the sphere, it's by itself. Okay, that is parenting. So we can join more stuff and then move them together. That is grouping and stuff, but we are not interested in that right now. Okay, so we hold Y on the keyboard, we get these scissors, and we can cut the connection. At this point, we can start working on one of them. Let's work on the tiles by double-clicking on it. Okay. I can reduce the number of columns, but let's leave it at 24 and 12. That's okay. I'll rotate it here at 90. So what I want to do next is to clip it. If I call a clip, let's see what happened. Nothing happened. There is nothing connected to the tiles. Nothing happened. This is telling us that some of the tools up here require you to select something to let it know that you want it to work on this thing before you call it. Okay? So if I click outside, Houdini is telling us select something or a polygon to work on. Okay? Because I click on the clip before, it's telling us to select the objects and then use the clip and enter. So it's actually giving you a tutorial right here, a very short sentence, and it's telling you what to do. Very simple. So we will do that. We will select these whole polygons and we call for clip. Unfortunately, clipping based on the angles and the cameras we are using for the setup is happening at a y-axis for us. In most occasions, it will be all right, but let's change that. 0. So we actually want it on the z-axis. Based on our camera view, the z is working for us and how I want it to cut, because I want to work on this side. Okay, cool. So we have something like this. So I get out from the clip node. What I want to do is I want to go to points. Okay, and I'll select everything and I'll call for a move tool, but I actually need the scale. So let's see if I can scale it on the x-axis a little bit. It's cool. Okay, so we have something like this. All right. So I'll get out from the point and come to edges. Select all the middle polygons in here by using the lasso tool. So what the lasso do is that it will roll over any polygons that it goes over it will be selected. So it's rolling. Okay. So let's get these middle parts and delete it. So far we are doing direct modeling, but we still see what? We still see the network. Okay, so can we work without looking at the network? Is it possible? Yes. So let's close that down. Cool. Get out from the last two, go back to our regular selection. Okay, come to edges and double click this edge. Call for a move tool and move it out. By the way, you probably won't have this view component selection that I have. You can change it by right click in the middle of the gizmo and you go to handle and you pick component. You can work on the word axis, object axis. Each one will give you a different directions of the gizmo. And the gizmo, where they face, is where your movement of the staff will go. So right now, we are interested in the view because the view allows us to move stuff based on any angle in the viewport. It will be still facing the X and the Y axis for us. Okay, see, at 10 here, I still get the X and the Y. So I can move stuff and stuff like that. So we want it to be like this. All right, cool. So we are getting a certain shape going on. It looks like the bike that we are working on, right? But that is not it. And what are we doing? We are still doing direct modeling. We are not looking at the network. So I want to get out from the last two, click outside. I need that again, double click and call for polyfill. Okay. So we grab polyfill, which fill the space for us, but the topology or the polygons, the setup is giving us, we don't want it, and we don't want to delete the individual edges. So we come up here to the options. We can select single polygon. And then we have just one polygons for that area, right? Cool. So let's continue on our direct modeling. Click outside, go for polygons, select the polygons that we just cleaned. Now hold C on your keyboard, call for poly extrude. Okay. And let's extrude it out by using the distance. Let's get a small distance out. Okay. You can control it by the bar also. And here we can control the distance too from here. So Houdini is giving you so many ways to control stuff, right? So we are interested right about there is okay. Let's do it again by hitting Q. So the polygon have selected again with a poly extrude. So we can come up here and do the extrusion again. You see? But this time, let's get out. And now you select this polygon. That is the one we want. Okay? And we want to scale it out bigger. Okay? So something like that is fine. Let's call for poly extrude again. Let's pull it. Okay. Let's get out from poly extrude. Go to points and select these points here. Shift and get these 3 points. Okay. If we select the move tool and we move away and we pick straighten selection, it will straight those points for us. You see, they are straight. So we can do it for this side. Get out from this 3, start a new set, hold shift, pick them, and do it again. Far from it. So we have this flat face here. What it's going to allow us to do is we want to extrude some polygons from there. So we click outside, get from the system, come to polygons, select this by holding shift. And we call for poly extrude again. Okay. This time, let's squeeze it in. Come here and use the ladder, the middle mouse, and squeeze the polygons in smaller, like that. Call for poly extrude again and extrude it out. Okay. Let's do it again by hitting Q on the keyboard and use the distance. We got it again. Okay. Go to points. Select these points and call for move to and move them this way. Okay. Select this point and move is the same. Let's try the top again. Let's change the alignment to component. Okay. Let's call for rotate and rotate the faces, because we want to rotate the components, the points, because the view is rotating it based on the view, and therefore rotation will be a little problem. So rotating, we will switch to component like we just did, right? So we go to move, we click in the middle here, and we switch the handle to component. Okay, cool. Let's try the view and see what I'm talking about. For the view, if we go for rotation, rotation is rotating everywhere, so we're having a twisted and stuff is mixing up, right? So let's do Control Z and let's do it again, because it's still flat. We want it to rotate a little bit. So call for rotate, before let's change it to component, right? Call for rotate and rotate it the face of the points, something like that. So in this case, our next extrusion will be facing this way. We are working our way this way. So in no time, you will see what I'm trying to get into in a second. I know you guys already see it. So let's do our next operation. Get out from, come to polygons, select these faces, okay, and call for poly extrude. We are doing direct modeling and we don't see no network. This is what you do when you work anywhere, right? Just two windows. So we'll pull our next extrusion, okay? Let's get a little longer. And maybe we can do our last points rotation. Call for rotate and rotate the faces like that. Do our last poly extrude, polygons, select these polygons, and then do it again. Extrude it this way. Okay, it's okay. So we have something going on, and most of you guys already figured it out. Cool. So let's come on this side, click outside, and double click on the edges, but we have to be on the edge, right? Double click here. Now let's close it. Let's do polyfill again. Let's take a single polygon. Okay. We can get out from these two, come to polygon, select these polygons, and poly extrude. But this time, let's use the insert and squeeze the faces down. Okay. Let's squeeze the face down. Let's go down a little bit. That's fine. The last two is poly extrude. Let's squeeze it down again. I want some poly flows over there. Cool. So we get to, it's okay. So let's get out, click outside, come to edges. You see the flow? That is direct modeling. We are not worried about network. And when we messed up, we use Control Z. So that is direct modeling we are doing right now.